In my previous class, I have discussed the solutions for the questions 1 to 13 in the assignment in general circular motion. So in this class, I am going to continue the discussion of the remaining questions in the assignment in general circular motion. So I am going to start the discussion with question number 14 now. Look at the question number 14 on the screen. So look at the question number 14 on the screen. A very small particle rests the top of a hemisphere of radius 20 centimeter. The smallest horizontal velocity to be given to it, if it is to leave the hemisphere without sliding down its surface, is that we denote the magnitude velocity given to the particle. So the weight mg of the particle acts vertically downwards. So the magnitude of the normal reaction force on the particle by hemisphere acts perpendicular to the surface of sphere directed upwards. So when the velocity of the particle is less than a particular value, the particle will slide down the surface without losing contact. Not only just answering the given question, I would like to discuss the other possible question. You may be asked what should be the value of V so that the particle will slide down. Without losing contact at the initial moment. So at the centripetal force of the particle, which act towards center of curvature of this circular path, can write mg minus n. That is equal to mv square by r, where r is the radius of circular path, which is equal to radius of the hemisphere here. So magnitude of the normal reaction force, you can write mg minus mv square by r. That means the particle slides down the surface without losing contact. Particle does not lose contact with the surface of the hemisphere if n is greater than 0. That is mv square by r less than mg, or v square is less than gr, or v is less than root gr. That means the particle loses contact if v is particle leaves the hemisphere, means loses contact. Particle leaves the hemisphere, or you can say loses contact if the above condition is not satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, that means if v is greater than or equal to root gr, that means the particle leaves the hemisphere without sliding down it if v is more than or equal to root gr. So the minimum value of the horizontal velocity to be given to the particle, for the particle to leave the hemisphere without sliding down its surface, is root gr. So here g is given to be 9.8 meter per second square. The radius of circular path is equal to radius of hemisphere, that is 20 centimeters, means 0.2 meters. Come on, if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 14, which I have just now discussed, second option is answer. So next, look at the question number 15. A particle of mass m moves in a circular path of radius r with constant linear speed v. The magnitude of first statement its angular acceleration is v square over r square. Its tangential acceleration is 0. Third statement its normal acceleration is v square over r. Fourth statement its angular acceleration is 0. So you have to find out which of these statements are true here. It is a theory question. As I discussed in the starting class of general circular motion, if a particle moves in the circular path with constant speed, then the circular motion is said to be uniform. If a particle moves in a circular path with constant speed, then circular motion is uniform. In uniform circular motion, speed is constant and angular velocity is constant. Speed is constant, angular velocity is constant. That means there is no change in the angular velocity omega. So therefore angular acceleration denoted by alpha, which is defined as the rate of change of angular velocity, that will be 0. In uniform circular motion, angular acceleration alpha will be 0 because there is no change in angular velocity. So magnitude of the tangential acceleration of a particle in circular motion can be written as radius of the circular path into angular acceleration. If angular acceleration is 0, magnitude of the tangential acceleration is also 0. That means the first statement is wrong, second statement is correct, fourth statement is correct. But the particle will have an acceleration which is called as radial acceleration or centripetal acceleration. The radial acceleration acts along the radius of circular path towards center of circular path, which arises due to change in the direction of the velocity. This radial acceleration is also called as normal acceleration because it acts normal to the velocity, means perpendicular to the velocity, which has magnitude v square over r. So even third statement is correct. So statements 2, 3 and 4 are correct here. If you look at the options given here, second option is the correct answer. See the question number 16 here. A particle of mass m is tied to a light string and rotated with a speed v along a circular path of radius r. If capital T equal tension on the string and mg equal gravitational force on the particle, the actual force acting on the particle are. So the actual forces acting on the particle, when the particle is tied to one end of a string and rotated in a circular path, the vertical plane, or its weight mg, or gravitational force, and tension force by the string on the particle, which always acts along the string and away from the particle. So only T and mg are the real forces or actual forces which act on the particle with respect to the laboratory frame of reference, which we consider as inertial frame of reference. Centripetal force should not be mistaken as one of the forces acting on the particle. The centripetal force of the particle is equal to the component of the resultant force which acts along the radius of circular path and towards center of circular path. So if you look at the options, first option is the correct answer, mg and t only. But if you read the second option, mg, t and additional force mv square by r, directly inverse. So mv square by r gives you the magnitude of centripetal force, which does not represent one of the external force acting on the body. The magnitude of the component of the resultant force towards center of the circular path is equal to mv square by r. But it should not be taken as one of the force acting on the body. That is magnitude of the resultant force towards center of circular path equal to mass into magnitude of acceleration towards center. Magnitude of acceleration towards center is e square by r. So first option is the answer for question number 16. Now look at the question number 17 here. A bob of mass 100 gram tied at the end of a string of length 50 centimeter, revolved in a vertical circle with a constant speed 1 meter per second. So that means we can take it as 1 meter per second. The magnitude of the tension of the string is 0.7 Newton. The mass of the bob is 100 grams, means 0.1 kg. You have to find the angle theta made by the string with the downward vertical at the instant when the tension becomes 0.7 Newton. Now, as I discussed in the general circular motion, if you consider the position of the bob at the particular instant, when the string makes an angle theta with the downward vertical, only two forces act on the bob at all the instants. One is its weight mg, which acts vertically downwards, and then tension force by the string on the bob acts along the string and away from the bob, that is toward the point of suspension. The center of the circular path coincides with the point of suspension here. Explained earlier in the theory part, you can resolve the weight mg into rectangular components along the string and perpendicular length of string. The component of the weight mg along the string will have magnitude mg cos theta, which acts away from center of the circular path. The component of the weight mg with magnitude mg sin theta acts tangential to circular path. So magnitude of the centripetal force on the bob means magnitude of the resultant force towards the center of the circular path is equal to T minus mg cos theta. That you can write as magnitude of mass into magnitude of acceleration towards center. Magnitude of acceleration towards center is square by r. To find the value of theta, substitute all the given values here. Magnitude of tension equal to 0.7 Newton. The mass of the bob is 0.1 kg. G is 10 meter per second square. The mass m is equal to, on the right side also you can write 0.1 kg. V equal to 1 meter per second. The radius of circular path is same as the length of the string, which is equal to 50 centimeters or 0.5 meter. So this you can simplify it further. So you get 0.7 minus cos theta equal to 0.2. Simplify this further. You get cos theta equal to 0.5 or 1 by 2 or theta equal to 60 degrees. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 17, which I have just now discussed, fourth option is the answer. Next, see the question number 18. A mass 100 gram is rotated a vertical circle using a cord of length 20 centimeter. When the string makes an angle of 30 degrees with the vertical, the speed of the mass is 1.5 meter per second. the tangential acceleration of the mass in that position is. If you see the solution I have given for previous question, question number 17. Magnitude of the centripetal force is C minus mg cos theta, which you can write mass into magnitude of acceleration towards center of circular path, that is mv square by r. Magnitude of the tangential force acting on the bob in the diagram which I have drawn in the solution of the previous problem is equal to mg sin theta. So magnitude of the tangential force can be written as mass into magnitude of the tangential acceleration. Therefore, magnitude of the tangential acceleration is equal to g sin theta. So here g is 9.8 meter per second square and theta is 30 degrees. That means you have to, in case you are given this problem in board exam, I mean subject to type, you have to draw the diagram which I have drawn for the solution of the previous problem. Same diagram should be drawn here also. But in objective type, you can directly use this conclusion. So answer is 4.9 meter per second square. That means the answer is independent of the value of V given in the problem or length of string. So for question number 18, second option is answer, 4.9 meter per second square. Coming to the question number 19, a mass 0.1 kg is rotated in a vertical circle using a chord of length 1 meter. When the chord makes an angle of 30 degrees with the vertical, the speed of the mass is 2 meters per second. The radial acceleration of the mass in that position is. So magnitude of the radial acceleration. So when the mass is rotated in a vertical circular path, the radius of circular path is same as the length of the chord or string, that is 1 meter. You have to find the magnitude of the radial acceleration or centripetal acceleration at the instant when the string makes some angle theta equal to 30 degrees with the vertical, and at that instant magnitude of the velocity is given at 2 meters per second. So magnitude of radial acceleration means same as the magnitude of centripetal acceleration, which we also sometimes say that magnitude of normal acceleration is equal to v square by r. Here v equal to 2 meter per second. The radius of circular path is 1 meter. So you get the answer as 4 meter per second square. So for question number 19, first option is answer. Next, look at the question number 20. A 2 kg stone is swung in vertical circle, attaching it at the end of a string of length 2 meter. The string can withstand a tension of 140.6 Newton. The maximum speed with which the stone can be rotated is. The magnitude of the tension on the string is maximum at the lowest position. So consider the position of the body at the instant when it has reached the lowest position. As I discussed in the theory part, in the case of motion in a vertical circle, the magnitude of the tension on the string is maximum at the lowest position. So I have shown the free body diagram for the body at the lowest position. The weight mg of the stone acts vertically downwards, away from center of circular path at the instant when the stone reaches the lowest position. The tension force by the string acts along the string and towards center of circular path. So V is the magnetic velocity at the lowest position. Then I have considered the lowest position because the magnetic of the tension in the string is maximum at the lowest position. In the given problem, the tension in the string should not exceed 140.6 newtons. That means the tension in the string, if the tension in the string at the lowest position is suppose 100 newton, then magnetic tension in the string at any other instant during the motion will be less than 100 newton. So magnetic tension in the string will be less than the given value 140.6 newton at all the instants, only if the magnetic tension at the lowest position does not exceed this value 140.6 newton. So at the lowest position, the magnetic centripetal force on the body equal to T minus mg. That is equal to mass into magnetic acceleration, this square bar. So maximum tension minus mg can write m into square of the maximum value of v. So v maximum represents the maximum speed with which the stone can be rotated without breaking the string. So maximum tension is 140.6 newtons. Come on, those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can start writing. The mass m of the bar stone is 2 kg, is 9.8 meter per second square. The mass m is 2 kg here. Maximum speed I denote by Vm. That means the maximum speed which is the stone can be rotated without breaking the string. I denote Vm. The radius circular path to the length of string, that is equal to 2 meter. So you get Vm square. Come on, copy down. So maximum speed with which the stone can be rotated without breaking the string is root 121 meter per second or 11 meter per second. That's the answer. So for question number 20, which I have just now discussed, fourth option is answer. Next, look at the question number 21. Simple pendulum of length L has a bob of mass M. It is released when the string makes an angle of 60 degrees with the vertical. The tension in the string at the position when the string makes an angle of 37 degrees with vertical is. So for that you have to know the magnetic velocity of the bob at the instant when the string makes an angle of 37 degrees with the vertical. To know the magnetic velocity of the bob at the instant when the string makes an angle of 37 degrees with the vertical, we have to apply conservation of mechanical energy. Because as I explained in the question number 17, that at the instant when the string makes an angle theta with the downward vertical, magnetic centripetal force on the bob is T minus mg cos theta. This problem is also based on motion of vertical circle, that you can write mass into magnetic acceleration towards center circular path, mv square bar. So to find the magnetic tension T, you have to find the value of V at the instant theta is 37 degrees, for which we apply conservation of mechanical energy. Let H1 be the initial height of the bob above the lowest position. When the string makes an angle theta 1 equal to 37 degrees, I am sorry, 60 degrees with the vertical. Let H2 denote the height of the bob above the lowest position at the instant when the string makes an angle theta 2 equal to 37 degrees with the downward vertical. Let L denote the length of string. As I explained and discussed in the past, in the case of motion of the bob of simple pendulum rotating in the vertical circular path, at the instant when the string makes an angle theta with the downward vertical, the vertical height of the center of mass of the pendulum above the lowest position is equal to L into 1 minus cos theta, where L is the distance between the point of suspension and center of mass of the bob. So applying conservation of energy, velocity is 0 at the initial position where the string makes an angle theta 1 equal to 60 degrees with the vertical. Let V denote the magnitude of velocity at the instant when the string makes an angle theta 2 equal to 37 degrees with the downward vertical. We can choose the lowest position of the bob as the reference position for a measurement of gravitational potentiality. The total mechanics of the bob of simple pendulum remains constant during the motion because work is done on the bob only by the gravitational force mg, which is a conservative force during the motion. Supplying some of the final kinetic energy of the bob and final potential of the bob can be some of the initial kinetic energy of the bob and initial potential of the bob. The final kinetic energy of the bob at this position is half mv square. And initial kinetic of the bob at starting position is 0. The initial gravitational potential of the bob we can write mgh1. The gravitational potential, the final gravitational potential of the bob at the later position we can write mgh2. So half mv square equal mg h1 minus h2. So v square you can write 2g into h1 minus h2. You can write h1 equal to L into 1 minus cos theta 1. H2 equal L into 1 minus cos theta 2. You can simplify this. L gets cancelled, my first term. So you get V square equal to, you can take L common outside here, 2G L into 1 minus cos theta 1 minus 1 plus cos theta 2. This minus 1 plus 1 get cancelled. So you get V square equal to 2G L into cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. Cos theta 2 is 36. Cos 37, cos theta 1 is cos 60 degrees. If you simplify these values, those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. They can try to find the value of V square from this and substitute in this later equation. Cos 37 degrees, you can take it as 4 by 5. Cos 60 degrees is 1 by 2. So 2GL into 3 by 10. Or 3 square equal to 3GL by 5. Can substitute in this equation, and you have to find magnitude of tension in the string at the instant when string makes an angle theta equal 37 degrees with the downward vertical. So T minus the mass of bob is denoted by small m here, mg cos 37 degrees, m into v square, you can write 3GL by 5. The radius of the circular path is same as the length of string. In cos 37 degrees, you can write it as 4 by 5. So on the right side, you get 3mg by 5. So solve this here. For magnitude of the tension in the string here, you get 7 mg by 5. So for the question number 21, which I have just now discussed, first option is the answer. So next, look at the question number 22. A stone attached to a string is rotating in vertical circle such that when it is at top of circle, its speed is v, and there is neither tension nor slackening in the string. When the string makes an angle of 120 degrees, the downward vertical, the rate of the magnitudes of centripetal and tangential accelerations is. So to find the magnitude of the centripetal acceleration, you have to find the magnitude of the velocity or square of the velocity at the instant when the string makes 120 with the downward vertical. And magnitude of the tangential acceleration, in the case of motion of the body in the vertical circle, is equal to g sine theta. So here, to find the magnitude of velocity at the instant, you have to substitute. You have to apply conservation of energy. Here, the bob is rotating vertical circular path with the minimum speed at the highest position. The minimum linear speed at the highest position to just complete a vertical circle root gr, which is equal to v here. So root gr can be taken as equal to v here. So at the instant when the string makes an angle of 120 degrees with the downward vertical, the angle with the upward vertical will be 180 minus 120. That will be 60 degrees. Let L denote the length of string or length of the pendulum. So if H denote, so this is the value of V at the highest position. So that means what? The body is rotating vertical circular path with critical speed at the highest and lowest position. The magnitude of velocity at the highest position will be equal to root gr, as I discussed in the theory part. Only when the magnitude of the initial velocity given to it at the lowest position is root phi gr. That you can write it as v into root phi, because root gr you can write as v. So let us find the magnitude of velocity at this instant. When the string makes an angle of 120 degrees with the downward vertical. Let V1 denote the magnitude of the velocity at the instant when the string makes an angle of 120 degrees with the downward vertical or 60 degrees with upward vertical. For that, let us find the height of the bob above the lowest position at that instant. So from here to here, this distance in this right angle triangle, so we call this distance, suppose, as H1, length of string by L. Have a right angle triangle here. So H1 by H is equal to cos 60 degrees, or H1 equal to h1 by L, I'm sorry, h1 by L equal to cos 60 degrees. So h1 you can write L cos 60 degrees 1 by 2. And h can be written as h1 plus L, L by 2 plus L, or 3L by 2. You can also arrive at the same conclusion by an alternate method, which I discussed in the past. At the instant when the string makes an angle theta with the downward vertical, the vertical height of the bob of the pendulum over the lowest position is given L into 1 minus cos theta. I mean, discussing the alternate method to find the value of h. So if you take theta equal to 120 degrees, cos 120 degrees is minus 1 by 2. So simplify this again, you get h equal to same value 3L by 2. That means you can also find the value of h but alternately by this method. So to find the magnitude of velocity at the instant when the bob string makes an angle of 120 with the downward vertical, we'll apply conservation of mechanical energy. Applying conservation of mechanical energy, we can choose the lowest position of the bob. For application of conservation of mechanical energy, we can choose the lowest position of the bob as a reference position for measurement of gravitational potential energy. So kinetic energy of the bob at the lowest position can write half mu square. Gravitational potential of the bob at the lowest position, we take it as 0. Kinetic energy of the bob at this position, at height h above the lowest position, can write half mv1 square. Potential energy equal mgh. Can multiply this equation with 2 and divide with m. So you get u square equal to v1 square plus 2gh. Or use v1 square, can write u square minus 2gh. Here u equal to v root 5 or 5gr. R can be taken as equal to length of the string, the radius of circular path in which the stone moves can be taken as equal to length of the pendulum or length of string. So here u square is equal to 5gr. Can substitute u equal to root 5gr or 5gl. So u square you can write 5gl. And h can be written as 3L by 2. So you get v1 square equal to 5gl minus 3gl. That will be 2gl. Or v1 equal to, if you're asked to find in case v1 in terms of v, you can write as root of 2gl means v root 2. Root gr or root gl equal to v. So magnitude of the centripetal or radial acceleration given by v square by r or v1 square by r. v1 square is 2gl, radius of the circular path, same as the length of string, that is 2g. Magnitude of the tangential acceleration, you can write g sine theta. You can take theta as 60 degrees or 120 degrees because sine 120 degrees same as sine 60 degrees. That means you can resolve the weight mg into components here at this position shown in the figure. The tangential component of the weight mg will be equal to mg sine 60 degrees. The radial component of the weight mg will be mg cos 60 degrees. So magnitude of the tangential force mg sine theta or magnitude of the tangential acceleration g sine theta. Or second, write magnitude of tangential g sine 60 degrees or g into root 3 by 2. So therefore ratio of the magnitude of the radial acceleration and magnitude of the tangential acceleration will be 2g is to g root 3 by 2. So you get 4 is to root 3. That's the answer. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. For question number 22, second option is answer. Next, I am going to discuss the question number 23. See the question number 23 here. Small bob of mass small m is attached to one end of a light rigid rod of length L, forming a simple pendulum. Rod is put in the horizontal position, released from rest. The tension in the rod at the lowest position is equal to. To find magnitude of tension in the rod at the lowest position, you have to find the magnitude of the velocity of the bob at the lowest position by applying conservation of energy. So the rod is initially put in the horizontal position, then released from rest. The velocity of the bob in the horizontal position or initial position is 0. Let L denote here length of the rod here or length of the pendulum. To find the magnitude of velocity at the lowest position, we'll apply conservation of mechanical energy. We can choose the lowest position of the bob as the reference position for measurement of gravitational potential. So applying conservation of mechanical energy, kinetic energy of the bob at the lowest position is half mv square. Gravitational potential of the bob at the lowest position can be taken as 0. At the initial position, that is at the instant when the rod is horizontal, the height of the bob above the lowest position is equal to length L of the pendulum. So initial position velocity 0, kinetic energy 0, gravitational potential energy equal to mgh. H is square equal to gs. So here h equal to L. That means initial height of the bob above the lowest position is L. 2 forces act on the bob at the lowest position. Its weight mg acts vertically downwards. The tension force by the rod on the bob acts along the rod and towards center of curvature of circular path. Here Y is center of curvature of circular path which coincides with the point of suspension. So at the lowest position, the weight mg acts away from center of curvature of circular path and tension force by the string acts towards center of circular path. So magnitude of the centripetal force on the bob at the lowest position equal to T minus mg. From Newton's second law that you can write mass into magnitude of acceleration towards center. Magnitude of acceleration towards center is equal to v square by r. So magnitude of tension force by the string on the bob at the lowest position will be mg plus mv square by r. Can write v square equal to 2gl and radius of the circular path is same as the length of the pendulum. So you get mg plus 2mg or 3mg. So answer is 3mg. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 23, which I have just now discussed, first option is answer. Look at the question number 24. Body tied to the one end of a string is rotated in a vertical circular path continuously with constant speed. The centripetal force acting on the body is. So this is an example for uniform circular motion in vertical circular path because it is mentioned that speed is constant. That means in uniform circular motion, speed is constant or magnitude of velocity is constant. Therefore, magnitude of the centripetal force. Therefore, the magnitude of centripetal force on the body, which you can write as mv square bar, that is same at all the positions because magnitude of velocity of speed is same at all positions. Therefore, third option is answer. This question was originally given in 1990 EAMCET exam, commonly for both medical and engineering. Of course, in the case of uniform circular motion, vertical circular path, magnitude of tension, the string will maximum at the right position. But magnitude of centripetal force, the bob is same in all positions because magnitude of velocity of speed is maintained constant. That means in this case, the total mechanics of the bob of the body does not remain constant during the motion in a vertical circular path, because speed is constant, means kinetic energy is constant, but gravitational potential of the bob does not remain constant during the motion in the vertical circular path, as the height of the bob above the ground continuously changes during the motion. So I will stop the discussion in this for this problem in this class. The solutions of the remaining questions I will discuss in my next class.